We are students doing Master of IT in Distributed Computing at Unimelb. This is a presentation of our project on implementing cloud platform to harvest and analyze Twitter data, and finally we will visualize our results on website, which is catnevercode.cloud. Now we are going to display the automation deployment of our cloud platform. Firstly, we use Bottle to create our instances. As you can see, a new instance is created yet, and we will use the Ansible scripts to install and run our server. In this project, we deployed 4 nodes with CoachDB cluster databases, and we use one node to hold our web server. To deploy our web applications and make the system robust, we have to implement a suitable web system architecture. The key elements we are concerned about are high availability, scalability, security, and high performance. Take all of these into consideration. We choose Nginx, Unicorn, and Django. Nginx is a web server which can also be used as a reverse proxy, load balancer, and HTTP cache. For the aspect of performance in this project, we implemented many features on Google Map API and developed many front-end modules like Ajax and jQuery and many static files. The use of Nginx can promote the response speed uncommonly by the handling of static files, index files, and auto-indexing. We use Unicorn to master several processors and workers to make system robust. And we implemented the system daemon to make Unicorn run as a daemon to increase the robustness. Okay, now our web server run normally, and we will go to the next part, our data analysis.
Okay, let's have a look at our scenarios. First, it's about sentiment analysis. From our perspective, we feel that life in Melbourne is nice in general, so we assume that the positive attitude from Twitter users should be dominated. What's more, we assume that Monday is the worst day of the week because weekends have gone and people have to get up early to study and work for another whole week. And we assume that forenoon or noontime is the best time during 24 hours because people are energetic and they may have a fancy brunch or lunch. For the first scenario, we have implemented 3 sentiment analysis in the illustrated as follows to verify our assumptions respectively. The first is overall sentiment comparison. This scenario demonstrates the distribution of Melbourne sentiment. The red color represents the most unhappy level of a sentiment, while the green represents the happiest level. This graph shows the overall sentiment comparison of Melbourne district. And the pie chart vividly indicated that the rate of positive sentiment among Melbourne people is much higher than the negative one, and 41% over 16% respectively. So our assumption is correct. Melbourne is a positive city. After all, Melbourne is one of the most habitable cities in the world. And let's see the analysis of sentiment in 24 hours. We extracted the detailed time information from created ad attribute of Twitter data to analyze the change of sentiment in 24 hours. To our little surprise, the results showed that people have the best mood at 8 a.m., not at forenoon or noontime. That may be because many people have a good sleep at night and they enjoy embracing a brand new day to work and study. It's interesting that there's a straw around 3 a.m., maybe because people are suffering from insomnia or students are staying up late struggling with their assignment. And this is the sentiment in the week. To our surprise, tweets posted on Monday are the most positive during the whole week, while we assume that it may be the worst day in the week. It may be the case that people are rested from the weekend and are in a good mood thanks to the residual weekend high. What's more, it's only the first day back to work, so people haven't had time to get burned out yet. There's no evidence from the graph shows that people love weekends more than weekdays. In general, the sentiment has only a little change during the whole week. We can positively say that every day in life is a good day. In the second scenario, we implement the hot topics in Melbourne. As you can see, on Twitter, a top starts with a hashtag and is case sensitive. We analyze the topics mentioned in the harvested tweeters to discover the hottest emerging topics of discussion on Twitter. We use the word cloud to show up top 50 of hot topics. The bigger word in the graph means the hotter topic on Twitter. This word cloud shows top 50 hot topics and negative topics and top 50 of positive topics. The topic of Melbourne is the hottest topic of all tweets. In addition, there are three relevant topics: job, and hiring in top 50 hot topics. This reflects that people in Melbourne are very concerned about jobs. And the hottest topic of negative tweets is Victoria traffic, which reflects that people in Melbourne often complain about Victoria's traffic and dissatisfied with it. And the hottest positive tweets at Melbourne is Melbourne, which means people in Melbourne are quite satisfied with their life. Further topics about job, hiring are also in top 50, indicates that people are also quite satisfied with their jobs. And let's see an interesting scenario, that is Avengers, the Infinity War. The movie hit Melbourne cinemas 2 weeks ago, and we set a list of keywords including superheroes and movie name to search related tweets and try to analyze Melburnians' attitudes toward different superheroes and the overall sentiment about this newly released movie. From all superheroes listed in the chart, Thor ranks the first, far ahead of other superheroes. Vision comes the second, and the Falcon gets the bronze medal, higher than the big boss Thanos. No one in our team has seen this movie yet, but we can venture a guess that Thor and Vision may be badly injured or killed by Thanos. What's more, because of the serious movie of Thor, he becomes the most popular character among these superheroes. We also got the overall sentiments about the movie in Melbourne District shown in the pie chart. In general, the most audience enjoyed it or thought it not a bad movie, while only 17% people thought it didn't deserve that movie ticket. And let's see our next scenario. It's about complaints about traffic. We made a long list of keywords to include traffic and many related words like traffic jam, stuck, etc., and searched through all tweets and count the number of tweets that tend to be negative. Apparently, from 1 a.m. to 5 a.m., the number of complaints is lowest because at midnight the road is empty and transport situation is good, so there are few complaints during that period. However, around 9 a.m. at morning peak, complaints burst out. It's interesting that in the afternoon, when people finish working, the complaints about traffic are not serious until 8 p.m. The second crest appears. And let's see our last scenario. It is about rental affordability. We implement the rental affordability data of 4 seasons in the Greater Melbourne from 2017, Season 3 to 2017, Season 2, Retreat from Orange. The houses in suburbs with high rental affordability are more affordable to residents and vice versa. The range of color represents different levels of rental affordability. From the graph, we can be convinced that the houses near the CBD and Bay always have lower affordability. Instead, those remote from city are more acceptable. The red color indicates higher rental prices, while the green represents the lower prices. As you can see, there's an empty suburb here because it is Unimelb, and it cannot be rented. And As the graph illustrated, the extremely high and low prices only occupy a very small portion, while the major part of the houses are affordable. We can also infer the overall affordability tends to fall down. Red and orange occupy a large proportion in 2017 season 2, which means the rental price has risen to some extent. Okay, then this is my teammate's profile, and we welcome you to follow us and start us in GitHub. And this is our demonstration of clustering and cloud computing assignment 2. Thanks for watching.